Good evening, my beautiful people. Good evening, and welcome back. Welcome back to the My Life, My Legacy, How to Leave a Six-Figure Inheritance for Your Family or Favorite Charity. This masterclass is being brought to you by Cindy's List Inheritance Protection. It is through their generosity that we're actually able to offer this class to you all free of charge. So thank you all for sticking with us and being with us on this journey as we sow into you. And hopefully you sow into others how to leave a six-figure inheritance for your family. So we'll go there. So same disclaimer as always. If you are intimidated by prosperity, if you are scared of wealth, then this may not be the class for you. Everything is not for everybody, but if you are here and you believe what I believe in, that just because you wasn't born with a silver spoon doesn't mean that your kids can't eat off of silver plates. So also, I probably should have been saying this at the beginning, but I'm gonna throw it in there now. So I am not an attorney. You definitely want to seek legal advice and tax advice from an attorney or tax advisor. But this is knowledge and information that I've learned throughout my years of working extensively in the insurance industry. And I think that this method is actually a good method to ensure that you're leaving a legacy for your family, right? If you recall, module 3, we went over the six-figure inheritance part 1, and in that module, or in that masterclass, we talked about what is an inheritance. And we learned that it's just not cash. It can be property, it can be a title, whatever it is that you can pass down to an heir is an inheritance. There are 2 types of life insurance, if you remember. So one's term, one's whole life. Now, there's different types of insurance that falls into those 2 verticals, but for the most part, you only got those 2, term life or whole life. And then we showed you how to pay off your debts tax-free. So we showed you a case study with Alex, and how he was actually able to accomplish that as well. And so maybe, might be doing y'all a disservice, man. So maybe the six-figure inheritance was thinking a little too small, maybe this is the $1 Million Inheritance Masterclass, the $1 Million Masterclass. Oh, I like it, $1 Million Masterclass. We're gonna get it. This is the $1 Million Masterclass. So everything that we've taught you up until this point, you can actually do the exact same steps and end up with $1 million. You know what I mean? So instead of, a $100,000 policy to pay off your debts, you could actually, upgrade and go $1 million policy easily. If you're, young enough, your premiums are affordable and all that good stuff, of course, but it is definitely a lot less expensive than people think. You can leave $1 million inheritance for your family or a favorite charity using these exact same steps, which is called the laddering method. Been around for a while, just not seeing a lot of people teaching it, and especially in our community. So, want to leave $1 million? Leave $1 million. You want to leave 6? You can leave 6. You want to leave $1 billion? You can leave $1 billion if you want to. You know what I mean? But we definitely recommend leaving something for our kids, man, so they ain't starting over every generation. So, for our family, for our charities, for the people that we love. So, when we're gone, that that's one thing that they don't have to worry about. Yeah, right. So, ain't that what we're here for? To make sure that they taken care of. But yeah, $1 Million Masterclass. You know what I mean? So, do any of these names ring any bells to you? Like, do y'all know any of these names? You know who the Kennedys are? Have you heard of a fella called John F. Kennedy? No. What about the Rothschilds? The Rothschilds. Ever heard of them? How about the Rockefellers? I know you heard of the Rockefellers? You heard of any of those folks? Vanderbilts. Yeah. Okay, so all of these people, although they come from different income producing industries, for example, the Kennedys actually made their money in real estate. Actually, I believe it was Jack Kennedy used an UPREIT. You know what I mean? Which is we'll get into that next month. You know what I mean? But essentially, he went in, there was a building for sale in Chicago, I believe it was a high rise. And instead of buying the building, he bought the building and the company that was selling it. So, but he used a little known trust. So you may have heard of a real estate trust. There's an up trust and a down trust. So there's different type of ways to do it. So up REIT and down REIT, I'm sorry. The Rothschilds actually made their money in banking. So they essentially became a large international banking conglomerate and making a lot of their money. Then the Rockefellers made their money in the U.S. with the oil boom. They were actually one of the, they own almost all the oil in the U.S. or something, a good significant portion of it. And then the Vanderbilts were shipping. So, they made the first Vanderbilt in the 1700s actually made his money with a small boat they used to take people across the ferry on, or, So, these are all companies that had humble beginnings. All of them had humble beginnings, but what they have in common is the strategic use of life insurance. The Rockefellers, for example, every new child that's born into the Rockefeller family gets a maximum amount insurance policy that's paid through the trust. And so there's a lot of ways to make sure that your family is well off. So again, well, how about these families? You know any of these families? The Jones, the Iveys? I know you know Ivey. I'm Cecil L, so you know one, right? What about the Moores and the Jacksons? You know them? What was their humble beginnings? Where did they start? Where are they going to end up? So these are all questions. You can throw your last name there. The Johnson, whatever your last name is. What is your legacy going to be for your family? Will you be recognized as a Rockefeller or, a Rothschild or, whatever it is? Maybe you don't want to be a Rockefeller. Maybe you just want to leave enough for them to pay the next 5 years of the house. So whatever it is, whatever inheritance that you want to leave for your family, it is up to you to figure out what you want to leave for them. However, what you should consider is what specifically they need or want. So if, you have a situation where, your kid's about to go to college and you want to make sure that the college is paid for, then a life insurance is a way to do that. If, there's you want your son when he get married to be able to afford a ring, whatever it is that you want, you can actually use policies to fund those different things that you want your family to have, because your family is going to receive a death benefit. Also, depending on how you do it, the cash value may be more than the life insurance policy, so you leave the cash value for your family. So think about what they want and what they are going to need after you're gone. So if you got a little knucklehead boy like me, then he gonna need some help. What I mean? So I want to make sure that he has that help that he needs, so he's not starting over. I want to make sure that he has an opportunity to get ahead. Because we already starting behind the 8 ball in the first place, right? So stop looking at insurance as an expense. Insurance is an investment, just like any other investment that you can make. If you are into real estate, that's an investment. It has a return. Insurance is an investment. If you are into stocks and bonds and all of that good stuff, then you're investing. But what you may not be realizing is that insurance is also an investment, right? So what's an investment? That's something that you put your money into with the hope or expectation that it's going to make you more money. Essentially, that is going to have a return. So the difference between, insurance and stocks, for example, is how much risk are you really willing to accept? How much risk are you willing to take? Sure, you can get 8 to 12% on the stock market, but you can lose 50% of your stocks. As we see with COVID here, there were several stocks lost 30-40% of their value. So the more risk you take, you can make a lot more money in the stock market. Yes, you can make a lot more money in real estate, but you're also taking a lot more money risk as well. With life insurance, you are pretty much guaranteed, depending on the type of policy that you purchase, of course, you're pretty much guaranteed what it is that you signed up for, whatever is in their contract. With the whole life policy, you are guaranteed a certain percentage as far as the cash value and all that good stuff. So banks invest in life insurance. It's what you would call a root investment, right? So a root investment is something that you should have in your arsenal, your family's arsenal, that you can tap into. It's liquid. You know what I mean? You can get a loan on your life insurance policy with no credit checks, no nothing, because you underwrite your own loan. If you want it, you get whatever it is that you need it for. There's no, oh, you can only get it because of it. No, it's your money. You can take a loan against it. Now, mind you, you have to pay it back, and then maybe there's some interest tied to it. So there's some stipulations about the loan, but you will essentially be making yourself your own bank. You know what I mean? And credit doesn't matter at that point, right? Because you're loaning it to yourself. But how much risk are you willing to take? Your typical savings account, even if we go to the savings account, right? So if you had a savings account, the most you're getting right now is about 1.75% for a typical savings account. What if you took that same money and put it in a life insurance policy where you can get up to 5-6%? You know what I mean? 3.5% easy, 3% easy. You know what I mean? So you're outpacing inflation, and you're guaranteed to get some cash back and a death benefit. You know what I mean? If something happens to you while you have a fat savings account, your family ain't gonna get nothing but what's in that savings account. You know what I mean? But if you're putting that money toward life insurance, then if you only got $100,000 in your savings, but you got a $250,000 policy, you see what I'm saying? Now they got $350,000. I mean, so simple things like that could help your family and assist your family with, you know, not starting over. You know what I mean? So one of the ways that you can leave an inheritance for your family is through a guaranteed universal policy. This is a GUL. So if you remember in Module 2, we actually talked about it a little bit in that, like a term policy, you set it up for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? So if I'm 35 now, I get a 30-year policy. It's gone when I turn 65. With a GUL, you can actually set it up for your certain age. I want it till I turn 90. I want it till I turn 100. I want to be covered until I turn age 120. So as long as you're making your premiums, then your family will receive the death benefit that you set up in your contract. It's a contract with the insurance companies, right? So your premiums are fixed, your rates are fixed. You're not going to pay more than what you signed up for. You know, it's a little less expensive than whole life, but a little bit more expensive in term. So it's like right in the middle. And then there's no risky investment involved because you're guaranteed this death benefit. It's guaranteed. If you die while you have this policy in force, you are guaranteed, your family is guaranteed to receive this money, receive those funds. Also, straightforward and easy. You know what I mean? You pay me for a $200,000 policy, your family gonna get $200,000 if you die while the policy is in force. If you don't pay your premiums, they don't get nothing. Simple and plain. And it's not building any cash value, so which is why it's a little bit cheaper. You're not building any cash value. There's no dividends, and you usually have to have a medical exam. And like I said before, it's a little bit more expensive to term, but it's a little less expensive than whole life. It just depends on what it is and how much risk you are willing to take. If you want a guaranteed permanent policy to last you until you're 120 years old, you can't afford a whole life insurance policy for what you want, and a term life policy only got you covered for 30, 35 years at the max, and you want something to last you your whole life without the whole life cost, then a GUL is perfect for that. If you want to leave an inheritance, if you want to protect some assets that you already have, it's perfect for that, because it lasts your entire lifetime and you're covered until you die. Again, you're not building any cash value. There's no tax benefits, but it's good to have. Now, so there are non-guaranteed universal life. So it's guaranteed universal life, a non-guaranteed universal life, what you would see in an IUL, VUL. So a lot of that actually can't be guaranteed for the most part because it's actually based on the performance of the stock market. You know what I mean? Not necessarily using your cash and going to a separate account and so forth and so forth. But, any money that you borrow from it would actually decrease your death benefit. Not only that, the premiums can go up every single year as you get older. So the cost of insurance is going to go up. So the policy is going to become more expensive. And if you're not overfunding it like we talked about in module 3, then, you know, as your cost of insurance rises, is depleting your cash value, then you're gonna end up losing it. Either you're gonna have to increase the amount of premiums you're putting in, put more cereal in, so you consider that, you know, y'all remember that? Or you have to purchase a new policy, withdraw whatever it is that you can. Or you can sell a policy to us. Actually, I see a typo now. So sell a policy to us. You know what I mean? So we actually have partnerships with organizations that, you know, we could possibly assist you with selling your insurance on a third-party market. You know what I mean? So you usually get more than the cash value that you've accumulated, but it depends on your situation. All right? So the second option is participate in whole life. Now, mind you, just like any other investment opportunity, maybe insurance, you know, maybe you want the 12%, but maybe you want that 12% risk. How much risk are you willing to take? Participating in whole life policies is a low risk, guaranteed, been around for hundreds of years. It is the only investment that I know of that has paid dividends and profits, excuse me, to their shareholders every single year for over 100 years. Every single year has paid profits to their shareholders for over 100 years. How many other investments can you say that? Right? You know, with we can say stocks, bonds. You know, I mean, we can go the housing bubble. You know what I mean? The financial. Insurance has still paid dividends through all of those recessions, through all those depressions, through all of that. Insurance has been around. Participating in whole life has been around. Whole life has been around. Now it has stand the test of time. You know, it's something that you can count on, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get there. You know what I mean? It's a root investment. So the participate in whole life insurance, you know, some of the pros, you cover it up until age 120 in most cases, but it actually pays a premium or a dividend. So you're paying your premiums each month. A portion of it goes to purchasing insurance. The other portion goes to paying some fees and your cash value. And if the insurance company or the company that you're buying, because you're essentially buying a part of the insurance company, you're becoming a shareholder in the insurance company by buying, participating whole life, because as they get better and as they make money, then the company that you bought is going to produce you money. So they're paying you dividends. Beautiful thing about insurance dividends, although it's not usually paid out, it goes into your cash value, or you can just buy more insurance. And the more insurance you own, the more of that company you own, and the more money you're going to make from the dividends. You know what I mean? Like, we'll go through an example here in a second, but participating in whole life is when you are becoming a part owner in a insurance company. You're written to own, so you're buying the insurance, and as you accumulate more, that's yours. You own that, and you're buying more to accumulate more dividends because you own the company. You know what I mean? So now, although the dividends are not guaranteed, they've been paying dividends every year for the past 100 years, man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, so if you, whatever investment that your specialty is, or whatever it is that you're investing, maybe you only invest in real estate, maybe you only invest in bonds, T-bonds, whatever it is that you're investing in, this is another source or another stream that you could use to, you know, invest in and to actually get some of those tax benefits, because you got to remember your growth actually grows tax-free, right? Because it's a life insurance policy. Now, with the participating whole life, because you're actually getting, you know, some of the money in dividends, you're sharing in the wins of the company is going to be a little bit more expensive. You know what I mean? Because you're buying part of the company. You know what I mean? So now, if you withdraw from it, participating whole life, then it usually reduces your growth, but your benefit. Your death benefit is usually not affected in some cases. All right, so it depends on how the contract is written out. So there are non-participating whole life companies. So non-participating is just you're not getting no dividends. Like, you got a whole life policy, it's building cash value, maybe not as quickly because you're not throwing that extra on top of it every year through dividends, but you're still building cash value, you're still covered to 120, you're just not getting that dividend. You're not getting that extra bump every year in interest or dividends, extra insurance, if that's how you set it up. But same thing, your premiums are fixed, they're guaranteed. When you die, your family gonna get it. So you either gonna get the cash value or the death benefit. I mean, the idea is so that you set it up so that you either die where you put in less premiums than your cash benefits, so you want to put in 150,000 and get 200,000 back when you die. Yeah, I mean that's pretty decent return on your money. Yeah, I mean that's $50,000 extra. Or you want to set it up so that you have more cash value at the end of it than what your debt value is. So if you got 250, you want the cash value to be 500. You know what I mean? So you're straight, right? And the best way to do that is with a participating whole life insurance policy. Non-participating, you don't get to participate in the ups of the company, which again, 100 years in running, you know, they've been doing it. You know what I mean? So a good way to figure out which companies are participating and non-participating, which you really can't tell nowadays based on the name, but at one point it was based on if the name was mutual. So Penn Mutual or Mutual of Omaha, you know, usually if mutual is in their name, then they are a participating whole life policy, but that doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily always true because they may be named mutual, but they don't have participating whole life policy. I mean, it's what's in the name, right? So you definitely want to do your due diligence and find out which ones are participating, which ones are non-participating. And of course, non-participating are a little bit less expensive than participating because so, you know, there's different reasons for different things to have different life insurance policies to do certain things, which is why we're teaching you this method, right? So let's talk about this case study. So Franklin Doe. So this is Frank here. So Frank is 35 years old. He has one child. Now Frank, he's in the IT field. You know, he makes pretty good money. He's doing all right, and he's a very good saver. Now Frank actually went through our six-figure masterclass, actually the $1 Million Masterclass. I'm renaming it. We're renaming it tonight. Yeah, we're gonna do it. So the $1 Million Masterclass, or the $1 Million Inheritance Masterclass. And he actually went through each of the steps. So module 1, he set up his EFP, his emergency funeral plan. So Franklin knew that he wanted to be buried, so he set up a direct burial policy via a pre-need policy, module 1. And he left that 4-figure inheritance off top. So because he only wanted $1,000 or $1,000 direct burial plan, he just went ahead and paid it up all up front. So he ended up getting it for like $900. So he just automatically saved $100 right there because he paid it all in one single premium. So he has his emergency funeral plan already. It's already paid for in full. If anything happens to him, he's got that ready to go. Pull the trigger, paid for, done. Ain't got to worry about it. He's also went through module 2 and he learned that he can get his extras, so his casket, his plot and all that good stuff using a final expense policy or funeral insurance policy or burial insurance policy. So he's already put that in place. At 35 years old, he's paying, I think it's $20 a month or something like that. It's actually fairly low. But now his family is taken care of with the extras. If they want the flowers, if they want the whole shebang, then pay for it, take care of it, winning, ain't got to worry about it. Also, Frank decided to go ahead and get his term policy. Frank decided to go with a GUL in this case, or I'm sorry, let's just say he went with a regular term. Yeah, he went with a traditional term. So either whether GUL, VUL, IUL, whatever, it's still a term policy. So he selected a term policy that is going to cover him if something were to happen to him. Then all of his debts will be paid off in full, and he would have enough for his son to go to college and have it paid for in full. because that's what he wanted to do and the inheritance that he wanted to leave for his family. So in module 2, what we're talking about is how to leave a legacy for your family or favorite charity. So we already got your casket, or we already got your funeral taken care of with your EFP. We already got your casket taken care of, your burial plot, your flowers, your soloist, your repast, all that's taken care of, be your final expense. All your bills are taken care of, be your term policy. We can convert that to a whole life policy later on if you decide that you want to keep it, or, do we go with the GUL? I mean, whatever it is that you want, so that, you're maximizing the benefits of your family. So funerals paid for, extras is paid for, debts is paid for. Now we're going to leave something for the babies. Now we're going to leave something for the charity. Now, all of this, because all that's taken care of, they ain't got to worry about the debts, funeral, none of that. Okay, none of that. So all the rest of this is strictly for them. That's it. I mean, this is for them to inherit a $1 million inheritance, if that's what you want to do. Then, this is a method that you could use to do that. So at the $1 Million Masterclass, that's possible, and it's a lot less expensive than you may think. Definitely reach out to us. We'll build a customized plan that fits you and your family, or what it is that you want to accomplish with your charity. But it's reasonable. I think the last client that we helped, it was less than $200 for all of it. For all of it, less than $200. I mean, everything. The funeral, the direct cremation, everything was less than $200. How much are we spending on the cell phone? I know our cell phone bill is more than $200 each month. Until I die, we'll probably need a cell phone. So the way things is looking. So, but Alex, Franklin. So he's got all his stuff already. He has no health issues. He doesn't smoke. And he lives to 120. Let's just say 120. Let's just say 85. He lives to 85, because that's the example I got here. So he lives till he's 85 years old, right? So if Franklin was to get this participating whole life policy right now, a $250,000 dividend participating whole life policy, by age 50, which is 15 years later, he would have put in $45,000, but he would have earned $50,000, or his policy would be worth $50,000. So a $5,000 net increase in his investment. Now, mind you, depending on which carrier you go through, with what insurance company you decide, the interest rates, how you write it up, it could be more than this. You know what I mean? So it just depends. So whole life, participating in whole life insurance policies, I've seen at 6%. And I believe that's paying mutual, I believe, so at 6%. So it's a very foundational and guaranteed investment that you can make to ensure that your family receives that inheritance, whether it's the $1 million inheritance, or the 6-figure inheritance, or 5-figure or 4-figure inheritance, whatever it is that you need or want, or what you want to leave for your family that you think they need or want, then bam, you know what I mean? But on that same strength, that same $250,000 policy at age 65, he would have only put in $90,000. So he only paid $90,000 in premiums. That's it. Each month, every month, for the past 30 years, he paid the same amount every single month. And on the 30th year, he's got almost $175,000 cash that he can tap into at age 65 for whatever reason, without a credit check. So, of course, you're going to pay interest on it, but if they charge me 3% interest, I'm going to take out a loan on it and pay myself back 6% interest. You know what I mean? So if you go get a loan at the bank, what they going to charge you? 10%? You know what I mean? 29% for a credit card? You know what I mean? So you're essentially becoming your own bank. You know what I mean? That's cash that you can tap into at any time for whatever reason. So Disney tapped into his life insurance policy to create Disney World. McDonald's tapped into his life insurance policy to pay the payroll for his employees. Banks, all major banks. Bank of America got $90 billion in life insurance right now. And it's one of the safest forms. And say they put their top tier accounts in life insurance because it's guaranteed. You know what I mean? So even your savings account, they may be getting 3, 4, 5, 6% on a life insurance policy, and they're giving you 0.05% of that interest that they're receiving. You know what I mean? So, and life insurance is powerful. Life insurance is powerful, and when used right, when done right, when it's written correctly, life insurance is an investment that can make sure that your family receives a 6-figure, 5-figure, 4-figure, $1 million inheritance guaranteed, depending on how you set it up. You know what I mean? So, if you give us a call, we're going to set it up the right way, you know what I mean? Because we want you to win. Like, we want you to have this information. We want you to leave $565,000 for your family. You know, and you only signed up for a $250,000 policy, but your cash and dividends and purchasing more life insurance has given you this nest egg that not only you can tap into at any time, but now your family is left with this. And how could a only child utilize $565,000? Right? How could he? I mean, could he pay off any debt that he's accumulated? Could he go back to school? Could he buy a house? Could he get married? Could he travel the world? You know, start a business? You know what I mean? What is it that your loved one can do with a $565,000 payday because you decided to leave that inheritance for them, because you decided to make that investment at an early age or even at a later age, because you decided to make that investment now? You know, how could your family benefit? You know what I mean? What legacy are you going to leave for your family? What is it that you want your family to understand and see? You know what I mean? Like, what you want, baby? What you want? You know what I'm saying? So, but by age 85, though, Franklin would have more than $500,000 for his family. Now, in this particular instance, he's only bringing in a 2.6 return based on my calculations. You know what I mean? But if you compare that to Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, if you got this money in a savings account, if you got $150,000 sitting in the savings account right now at a Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, you are making approximately 0.01% as of 2020. 0.01. But having that exact same money in a participating whole life insurance policy, not only are you getting paid dividends, but you getting at least about 3% interest on it. You know what I mean? And that's normal, 3%. You know what I mean? So how much risk do you want to take? Now, you can go to stocks and bonds, you can go real estate, you can do all that. You can get 12, 15, whatever, you know what I mean? But you are also subject to the fluctuations of the market. You know what I mean? Housing bubble, prices went down. COVID, prices went down. You know what I mean? That 500,000 stock market bid that you had is now worth 200,000. You know, whatever it is, you know. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you want to leave for your family? So if we were to take this exact same policy, a $250,000 policy, whole life policy, and make it non-participating, meaning you're not getting any dividends, at age 65, instead of having 89,000, instead of having 174,000 at age 65, if you were to get a non-participating whole life policy, what you would end up with is about $104,000 because you're not enjoying the benefits of those dividends. Now, mine still build a cash value. You're still going to get those tax benefits. You're still going to get that death benefit as long as you're making your premiums. But you want 175,000 or 105,000, you know what I mean? Just by choosing the right policy and putting the right policies in place to take care of certain situations for certain reasons. Insurance is super powerful. It can be used to cover all of your expenses, your external expenses, your final expenses, your burial expenses. So your debts, you know what I mean? And leaving an inheritance for your family. Excuse me. So like I was saying earlier about, usually you can tell it's a participating company based on its name, so Mass Mutual. But again, it's not guaranteed because Forrester doesn't have mutual, and it actually probably says a mutual company, but it's not necessarily in the name. So, but before, if it was mutual, then there's usually participating whole life products that they offer or solutions that they offer. So, if you would like assistance with creating a infinite banking account, or if you are wanting to become your own bank, if you are looking to leave an inheritance for your family, whether it's a 4-figure inheritance, a 5-figure inheritance, a 6-figure inheritance, or $1 million inheritance, you can do that using the laddering method. Again, the laddering method is not something new. It's been around for a while. Lots of millionaires, billionaires stack the insurance on top of each other to maximize the tax benefits and to essentially, for the most part, avoid the taxes, because you can defer growth on a life insurance policy. Well, you're not taxed for the growth on a life insurance policy. So it's a good way to, put some of that additional income away from Uncle Sam. Not only that, but life insurance policies skip probate. You ain't got to go through court. You ain't got to deal with none of the lawyers and all that good stuff. It will go directly to the beneficiaries that you specify, which is why it's important to specify both the property. I think I just lost. I think I may have lost you temporarily, but anyway, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. You can give us a call at the office, 724-624-9297. Or you can call me directly, 832-443-6123. You can email us, info@sixfiguremasterclass.com. Go make sure you go out to our Facebook and Instagram, the Six Figure Inheritance Masterclass group or the Six Figure Inheritance. Definitely reach out to our sponsor, Cindy's List Inheritance Protection, at cindyslistllc.com. That's CINDYSLIST-LLC.com. Like I said, man, insurance is an investment. It's how much risk are you willing to take. If you want something guaranteed, that's going to make you some guaranteed money and leave a death benefit if you go before you build enough cash value. Participating whole life is a good way to do that. If you're not concerned about the participating in the cash value and all of that good stuff, you just want a less expensive way to do the same thing, a GUL is good for that. Like I said, you go with a BUL, IUL, and all those other ULs if you can overfund it, if you are a high income earner, is my recommendation. But if that's something that you decide to do, by all means, it's still an investment. You're just taking a little bit more risk than other insurance types. And again, your 4-figure, your emergency funeral plan, your 5-figure, paying off your extras with zero out of pocket for your family. Your 6 figures, paying off all your debts. 6 figures part, or your $1 million masterclass. Is leaving that legacy for your family or for your charity, your favorite charity. So definitely a valuable way to do it. Like I said, we're doing it for our family. We've implemented several other steps already. We are definitely looking to build a $1 billion inheritance for our family through our various business ventures. But if that's not you, then that's not you. If you don't want to do that, if you just want to take care of your cremation, your direct cremation, 4 figures. You know what I mean? Hey, we'll probably get it for 3. You know what I mean? For real, if that's what you want to do. But if you want to leave $1 million, same process. You know what I mean? Same process. Make those investments, get those returns, get those dividends, and you too will leave a legacy because it's your life. It's your legacy. Do you want to leave a 6-figure inheritance for your family? Do you want to leave $1 million inheritance for your family? You can do it. It is all up to you. But what it's on you. The ball's in your court. We are absolutely here to help you, and we will be honored to help you. So reach out to us. Again, 832-443-6123 is my line. 724-624-9297 at the office. info@sixfiguremasterclass.com. Shout out to our sponsors, Cindy's List Inheritance Protection, Cindy's List LLC.com. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And if you could do something about it, I would love you anyway, doggone it. So you all have a lovely evening, and we'll talk to you soon.